All right, good Friday, August 8th. Friday, that is 8/8/2025. It is game day, week 2, Lions preseason, Lions and Falcons. Guys, I'm hype about it. You're hype about it. We are inching ever so closer to the start of the regular season. But until then, we still have to get through preseason news. We will mostly be talking about Detroit Lions, but I do have a couple national things. One national news story to really look at, and that is, so there was some preseason week 1 action for a lot of teams yesterday. Kind of a, I guess, an impactful story here. You know, we are looking at the world stuck in a fisheye lens. You know, Colts QB Anthony Richardson day to day after leaving preseason lost to Ravens. Well, what kind of catastrophic injury could he have had? A dislocated pinky? Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, shit. A guy who has 2 tricks up his sleeve. One of them is he can throw the ball really far inaccurately downfield. And the other, he's very, very fast with his legs. So I don't understand the impactfulness of a pinky on Anthony Richardson. You guys, longtime viewers of this show, know that I was pretty high on old Richardson coming out of college. I kind of thought, like, you know, maybe the Detroit Lions do one of those draft and stash type deals, and we didn't. Thank God. And we still got Jared Goff. Thank God. And things are going to go well. But we're going to just briefly discuss. It does kind of tie to local news because it was David Ojabo. That's right, David Ojabo, who put the hit down on Anthony Richardson and dislocated his pinky, and his fingy hurts. So that's our national news story that we're going to talk about. And then, oh boy, guys, it's what we're all wanting to see. We're all wanting to talk about Detroit Lions things, and that is 5 things to watch tonight during the Lions versus Falcons game. Don't be just a passive observer. Watch the game. See what's going on. Really get down in the nitty-gritty details. And our guy, Tim 20 Man's got us 5 things to watch tonight. Now, after that, we do have some breaking news that came out late yesterday afternoon, and that is Ennis, the penis, Rakestraw Jr. injury. Lions cornerback, former second-round pick, to miss entire season after he had sand surgically removed from his vagina. I'm sorry, he had shoulder surgery. I keep telling people that he had sand removed from his vagina, and I don't think that's I think they also did a shoulder surgery at the same time. And so he will be out the whole season. Rakestraw has dealt with numerous injuries in his young NFL career. Connecting that to this story, here we go. This kind of popped up, and it's, look, I talk a lot of shit. Okay? I talk a lot of shit about players, about injured players, about availability being the best ability. But you guys don't have to be dickheads and DM motherfuckers, right? That's going a bit too far, right? That'd be like, now you can never punch down, and that's why we try and punch up at these athletes, because they seem like the higher class. They make more money, right? They're athletes. They don't have to go to work the same way we do Monday through Friday. But it'd be the equivalent. Ennis Rakestraw says, wants nasty DMs to stop. He says, I'm truly sorry. How would you like it if when you got fired, your favorite sports team's team members started texting you going, you're a bum. You're a bum. You're going to get cut. You're a bum. So, look, guys, not to be that guy, but we can pile on. Look, how's this? Y'all stop DMing Ennis Rakestraw and just let me talk shit about him on camera, okay? And y'all just stop DMing him. That's a step too far, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he was a bag of dicks the 2 years, the year and one off season that he's been here, if he'd have been a bag of dicks this whole time, but injury, he has no control over the injury. Now, he did get cooked preseason week 1 at the Hall of Fame game. He did get cooked a couple of times, but injuries that's not the man has any control over. So we can talk shit about Rakestraw, availability being the best ability. Is he a bust already? We can talk shit, but y'all motherfuckers DMing these guys, that is a step, if not 2 steps, too far. That's like, you're a dickhead if you did that. You know what I'm saying? But we will talk about Ennis Rakestraw, a little bit of, personal side of his injury. Then we got, what do we got? Oh, the depth chart. That's right. We're going to look at the depth chart. 2025 Detroit Lions updated depth chart. Preseason game at Falcons. An updated 2025 depth chart. Ahead of Friday's preseason game against the Atlanta Falcons. This came out 8 a.m., 8 at August 8 at 8 a.m. Let's go. We're going to poke around at that. We've got it all broken down. We are going to go through painstaking detail. It's going to be, I'm going to riz you. I'm going to riz them with the tism today, boys. Let's fucking go. Before finally, I know what you're asking yourselves. Oh, my goodness gracious me, Hat and Beard, where can I watch the game? Well, we will take a look at Pride of Detroit. How to watch the Lions versus Falcons preseason. TV time, online streaming. Everything you need to know to watch the Lions v. Falcons in the preseason. Friday night. Boy, I wish I had. I know I was really, really hoping to have negotiations today still so that I could get out early and we could do a little pregame show with you guys. I was really looking forward to that. But that's just not the way that the cookie crumbles. Boys and girls, Lions, preseason week 2. That's what's on the brain today. So tell me, we got a poll up here. What are you watching closely tonight? Are you going to watch Hooker v. Allen, the Hammers development, the trenches depth, both offensive and defensive line, or are you most excited to see the Manhattan mid-maidens tatas? If you know, you know. That's right. We're talking about the horse-faced congresswoman from New York. AOC! Let's see them tatas for you and me. So, guys, before we hit the go button on today, do me a big O solid, right? This is where everything comes in. You guys love hearing this spiel. Ring all my bells and buttons. Salt the like button. Hit it with a 2-piece and a biscuit on your way over to subscribing to the channel so that you can become a part of the Hat and Beer team. We are growing. We're clawing our way towards 700 subscribers. And once we hit around the 700 mark, when we hit around the 700 mark, I'm going to start dual streaming to another platform. I'm not exactly sure yet, but the road is going to be, ultimately, I'm going to want to stream on 3 separate streaming platforms: YouTube, Rumble, and probably Twitch. The question is, where do we branch off to first? We're going to hit 700 subscribers here on YouTube. Then we're going to branch off and start doing a second live. We're going to live stream. We're going to have 2 dueling live streams. And then once we hit 1,000, we're going to have 3 live streams going all at the same time, bringing as much hat and beardness to the world as we possibly can. We do have plans, though, because we are getting pretty close to being able to unlock memberships for the channel here, and you guys can send in super chats and stickers. I have a plan on something we can do to maybe give back while also giving a higher access level to just membership, something that we can just hang out and do ourselves. But we'll talk about that once we get to that bridge. That's a ways down the road. It's just something that we got in the crock pot in the old back of the brain of Rooski here. Ring that notification bell so that you know when we go live Monday through Friday. I'm bringing you guys content 5 days a week. That's 5 hours. That's 10 hours in an 80-hour work week that you got me occupying your time. How awesome is that? How awesome possum is that, right? So you'll know when we go live. You can come hang out, engage in the chat. We got everybody hanging out right now. We got a bunch of good dudes, right? Feel free to engage. Feel free to interact. We brought on some new people, right? Every day we're picking up a few new. And the beautiful thing about it is I know that we're a Detroit Lions content creation station. But we got a lot of you guys coming in from other teams that we like having you guys push back. Look, I know that some people don't like we like to have our thoughts challenged around here, right? We like to have a little bit of change my mind. Hang on real quick. A little bit of change my mind action going on. If you know, you know. And then the last thing you can do, share this video around with all of your friends and family. Now, if you don't want to ruin your well-manicured and cultivated social media presence, don't feel like you have to. All you can do is share this button, clip it, and copy it down on your clipboard. The algorithm treats it the exact same as a share. But if you are feeling like letting Nana know that you're a fan of the Hat and Beard Show, and if, these are 2 if-then statements, right? If Your Nana looks like our girl here, the old silver foxer of the kitchen herself, Mary Berry. Go ahead and, if she looks like, then send her my way. Let's get after it, fellas. That's what I'm talking about. Our girl, Mary Berry. Don't you hate on my Mary Berry. I love me some Mary Berry. Yeah, that's about it. We'll get into the show here. So first in the chat, we got what's maybe sand removal would help and more. Brent DeWitt says, exactly, dude. DMing and injured players is totally classless. Bro, and that's the thing. That's where we as Detroit Lions fans need to be a little bit better. Right? We are not. Quit acting trashy, Detroit. Quit fucking DMing guys that are hurt. It ain't his fault, right? So we just need to back off it. Morning, Chase, Mr. Detroit City. Let's get into the show, boys.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well, then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
Guys, just a real quick kind of caveat. If you notice anything goofy going on with the audio, please let me know down in the live chat. I am trying to kind of hone this in a little bit, and I'm just not quite sure how it's coming through, so just kind of let me know if anything gets too wet and wild. All right, guys, so coming to us from NFL.com. Hit the oil can so that we're well lubricated. Got to keep the gears lubricated. Colts QB Anthony Richardson day-to-day after leaving preseason loss to Ravens with a dislocated pinky finger. Let's fucking go. Anthony Richardson's first audition for the Colts starting job was dealt an unfortunate and unblocked hit in the first quarter of Thursday night. Richardson, playing on the Colts' second drive in their loss to Baltimore Ravens, was flattened by David Ojabo and did not return after sustaining a dislocated pinky on the play. Richardson is day-to-day, head coach Shane Steichen said after the game. Shane Steichen. Steichen! Steichen! Richardson was replaced by his QB1 competition, Daniel Jones, who was already slated to be the starter in preseason week 2 against the Green Bay Fudge Packers. But Steichen said the plan might change. Should Richardson be able to play, he could potentially get more run next week after an abbreviated showing on Thursday. Quote, Steichen, I feel like I was going... Oh, wait, no, that's not him. That was Richardson. I feel like I was doing decent out there besides that one play there. But everything happens for a reason. Still got next game, so I'm not too worried about it. Richardson was 2 of 3 for 21 yards on an opening field goal drive, but his incompletion almost intercepted. On the second play of the drive, he dropped back and never saw Ojabo coming from the right side. Richardson was slow to get up and went to the sideline, favoring his right throwing arm. Jones went the remainder of the first half before ceding the reins to rookie Riley Leonard. Jones quarterbacked the Colts to a pair of field goals, but was overall unimpressive. Wow. There's breaking news. Daniel Jones, unimpressive. Going 10 of 21, for 144 yards and no touchdowns, but no interceptions. He was also decked for a sack on his first full drive. Good offensive line you got there, guys. There you go, Shane Steichen. The 2023 NFL Draft's 4th overall pick. Richardson has been troubled with injuries throughout his short career. Isn't he still like 12 years old, though? He's very young. He's like 12 or 14 years old. He missed 13 games as a rookie due to an AC joint sprain in his throwing shoulder. In 2024, Richardson dealt with back, foot, and hip injuries that caused him to miss time. He was also benched during the campaign. Remember when he got tired? Remember when he took himself out of the game because he was winded after a play? There you go. That's a big winner. Winner. Anthony Richardson is a chicken dinner. This offseason, Colts general manager Chris Ballard thought sought competition for Richardson, so he brought in Daniel Jones. Boy, yeah. I really want to see some elite level quarterbacking come in and compete with Anthony Richardson. I'm going to go get me some Daniel Jones. Admittedly, there weren't that many quarterbacks in the class to really go after, but Daniel Jones should not be on the top of your pecking order. As Jones took over leading the Colts earlier than expected in their preseason opener, time will tell how significant Richardson's injury is to the QB competition. We got the hit pulled up here. They got it. We can watch him go ahead and get wrecked. Let's go.
Led the Colts to a field goal drive in the opening touch. And he's under pressure.
Oh!
By David Ojabo. Back in the 20.
Jesus Christ. He didn't even see him coming. Oh, my God. That's bad. Oh, that is... That's bad. Oh. Yeah, dude, Brent, you're right. Danny Dimes reached his ceiling years ago, and then it's the ceiling of a treehouse. It's not very tall. Damn, dude. Did you see? Let's watch this one more time. Ojabo just comes free.
In the opening touch.
Untouched!
Buried by David Ojabo. Back at the 26-yard line. Oh, Payne.
Oh my God! He came untouched. No chip, no nothing. Nobody even.
Oh, only thing I would love to see him swipe at the ball as he's making the tackle to try to get that strip sack fumble.
There's been a murder. He got fucking smoked, and his teammates. Holy shit! So, wow. There wasn't a he could have ducked it. Watch, he could have hit the running back. So the running back has a choice to make here. Oh, this is Anthony Richardson's fault. This play is supposed to develop relatively quickly, and there is the running back out in the flat. Now the running back, the tight end, or the tackle could have chipped David Ojabo. The tackle could have at least like looked at him, but he was looking. He had his eyes down inside the whole time. The tight end just ran straight out. The running back should have chipped Ojabo coming through, but Richardson never even looked at this side of the field. Just watch this all again. You'll see it exactly on play. So what he should have done was somebody should have chipped Ojabo, and then Richardson should have just hot routed directly, just dumped it right off to the running back in the flat.
Field goal drive in the opening touch.
See, so I wish I could get rid of this. I don't know how well you guys can see it. But if you look at the offensive line, they're all fully engaged. The tight end is completely upfield. Now, the running back, here's Ojabo. You see Ojabo coming in hot on him. You know what I'm saying? Richardson, not even. He could have hot routed out here. He should have dumped it to the running back, or even Dubin, whatever his name is. He's right here. You got all kinds of open ability. So if he was smart, he should have just dumped it right to the back, because you have the tight end and a wide receiver here. You got two on two, because if you look at the linebacker's hips already turned. He's going out away from the play. So you got a nice 2-on-2 running back, or a downfield blocking setup with a tight end leading the way for a speedy running back. You're picking up anywhere from 12 to up to a touchdown, but I would say 12 to 16 yards on this play. But Anthony Richardson just never even looks, never even feels the pressure, never even thinks that it's coming, for some reason he's expecting this man to be engaged in some capacity, David Ojabo, but Ojabo just comes clean on a blitz.
He's under pressure.
Boom!
By David Ojabo, back at the 26-yard line. Payne.
Great O-line, exactly.
Right,
watch him. Okay, watch him. So watch it from this angle. This is a good angle.
And he is.
So tight ends go on upfield. Look at the tackle. His eyes, his head, he never even attempts, doesn't even put a chicken wing out there to pretend to be blocking. Now, there's this huge space, so you got the defensive tackle lined up directly over the center. You got so it looks like a 1 and a 3 shade, or a 0 and a 3 shade here. It looks like they went with a nice wide package. Confusion on the blitz. See, they're bringing a defensive back here up into this wide gap, and Ojabo's lined up super wide. The tackle should have made some attempt, or at least looked, or they should have made a protection call at the line. But Ojabo doesn't get engaged at all. You see, the tight end doesn't even pretend to. The running back
He's going to come.
should have done something here. whether he upped his route a little bit higher just to give some type of a chip, or just broken off the route entirely and engaged the blitz. But yeah, see, look at the tackle. He's just standing here, flat-footed. Nobody's around. He's so focused on the DB coming that he didn't even pretend to get the bigger guy, the more explosive, violent hit coming.
Block.
Look at, yeah, you waited the whole time. You just sat there and waited for the DB to come in and engage the DB.
Going to come unblocked.
Damn. See, right here, the running back could have had a chip of some capacity, some type. What were you doing? Why'd you just leave your quarterback out there? Nothing. Look, nothing. He doesn't even. He doesn't even punch him in the shoulder. Yeah, at least punch him in the shoulder. You'd knock off the timing a little bit. You'd buy him another second and a half. This is just bad. This is just bad all around.
Only thing I would love to see him swipe at.
I can't put the blame on any one person. Everybody, top to bottom, offensive line protection, offensive line play call, tight end not acknowledging a blitz coming, not acknowledging the goofy setup, the running back not getting a chip, and Anthony Richardson not acknowledging what he could see, making adjustments at the line of scrimmage, or even feeling the pressure come, shows a gross lack of development from Anthony Richardson at this point in his career. What a shame. What a shame because of how athletic he was or is and what he could have been in the NFL. What a shame. Anthony Richardson is a bust. He is a bust. He's a bust. He's Jamarcus Russell's head and arm on Michael Vick's legs, and he couldn't out jump his way through this. He's a bust, and it sucks. I wanted him to be good. It sucks, but oh well. Sucks to be the Colts. Glad the Lions didn't take him. Let's go. If you guys haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, share this video around with all your friends. We're going to walk on over to DetroitLions.com. Tim, 20-man's got for us 5 things to watch for the Lions at Falcons. The Detroit Lions will be looking to get improved play from all 3 phases tonight as they take on the Atlanta Falcons in preseason game number 2 after dropping their preseason opener 34-7 to the Los Angeles Chargers last week. Here are 5 things to look out for in tonight's contest. Good news. This is what we wanted to see, right, boys? AR is another underwear Olympics champion. That won't make it. Brent, you nailed it, dude. He's an athlete, and he's the dude would cry. Like, you know what Anthony Richardson could do? He could become a fitness influencer post NFL career and just crush it. He's got a good personality. He's entertaining, and he's an athletic freak. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he really wanted to go ahead and just like really blow everyone's minds, Anthony Richardson should like straight up enlist and like join the special forces. Because he is that type of an athletic freak, but I don't know if he's got the brains or the fucking willpower for it based on how lazy he is in the NFL. But if he really wanted to make people fucking second guess themselves, dude, he could enlist and then go special forces, right? So this is what we wanted to see, right, fellas? Isn't this what we've been crying for? Hendon Hooker to get the crack at with we'll call them the ones, right? They're not the ones, but it's as close to the ones as we're gonna get, right? Hendon Hooker to start. I'm here for it. You guys know I need Hendon Hooker to be that guy. I've been asking for Hendon Hooker to finally take that step. I want to see something out of him. And I hate to be like, this is it. This is the night. But tonight is the night that you shit or get off the pot. Put on your big boy shitting pants, Hendon Hooker. It's time. Third-year quarterback Hendon Hooker gets to start tonight after Kyle Allen started and played the entire first half in the preseason opener. I think if Hooker is just keep diving into the work, keep getting the reps, and he just needs some small victories, Lions coach Dan Campbell said this week. He just needs a few wins here and there just to stack up some back-to-back reps, back-to-back days, and I think that's going to do him wonders. Yeah, we might need to build the confidence up in Hendon Hooker. That could be the big thing holding him back, is he just doesn't have the confidence that he had in college, right? Look, he's working. He grinds at it. He's very coachable. He certainly has the ability, and he's going to get his opportunity. I already said that he's starting this week, and we're going to give him a load here and see what he can do with it. Hooker led 4 series last week and finished 3 of 6 for 18 yards with an interception and running the third-team offense. Campbell is hoping the communication, execution, and ball movement from the second-team offense is much better tonight. Hooker and Allen combined for 3 interceptions in the opener. They were trash interceptions, too. 2 quarterbacks are in close competition for Goff's backup, so each is trying to separate themselves with the other with a good performance tonight. Rookie debut. Campbell said Wednesday he hadn't decided if the team's top 2 draft picks, defensive lineman Tyreek the Freak Williams, protect the leak. Don't let the leak get hurt. And guard Tater, the Motor City Mullet Ratledge, will make their preseason debut tonight after sitting out along with the other starters in the preseason opener. I would like to get them going this game, but I'm not 100% set on that, Campbell said. I will say that I'm pretty sure that Tate Ratledge was at least in pads week 1. Hooker time incoming. I want my hooker to slide, baby, slide. Save your brain. Brent, every single time he takes off out of the pocket, collectively, we all need to just go, slide! Like, we all just need to coach him up. You know what I'm saying? Because I want Hendon Hooker to be the guy, man. I really, really do. I can't explain why. There's no real reason for it. He's just another quarterback, but why not? Why not Hendon Hooker be, our multi-year backup quarterback? Why not? I can't explain it. I like his personality. I just kind of like the way he rolls, man. Williams has been getting first-team reps alongside DJ Reader and should play a big role come the start of the regular season, especially with Aleem the Dream McNeil, ACL, not expected to be ready to start by the beginning of the year. Ratledge has been the starting right guard since the pads have come on in practice and looks poised for that role in the regular season. Campbell admitted it's a bit of a juggling act between playing those two or not, knowing they are young players and could use the reps while also being careful with them. Yes, we know how injuries can stack up and derail the game plan for a season. Pass rush, number 3 thing to watch. Detroit's pass rush generated just 1 sack and 1 quarterback hit against the Chargers, and that was on a blitz from linebacker Grant Stewart, our punt returning linebacker, our kickoff returning linebacker Grant Stewart. There were a couple nice rushes up front that generated some pressure, but nothing concrete on the stat sheet. The coaching staff is still trying to pin down what the depth chart will look like behind starters Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport. Williams and Reader, a number of players have shown the ability to practice to be productive and provide good depth. Can they translate that to the game and make a mark tonight? Keep an eye on players like Al-Qadim Muhammad, Nate Lynn, Ahmed the Hammer, the Egyptian magician, Hassanein, Isaac Akuwu, and Keith Cooper Jr. as they try to separate themselves from the bunch. We know we're getting out of Al-Qadim Muhammad. I'm not too worried about Al-Qadim Muhammad. I am watching Nate Lynn, our boy Ahmed Hassanein. You guys know let's go, hammer time. And I'm actually slowly becoming a fan of Keith Cooper, and we're rooting for Keith Cooper to separate. I'd like to see him work his way into the rotation on the 53-man roster. I like Keith Cooper. I like it, especially with the injuries we have at the middle of the defensive tackle spot, or the defensive line spot, right? The defensive tackle room is a little bit thin now. Levi's gone. Roy Lopez isn't a super athletic guy. He's not going to be that, every down starting defensive tackle. Pat O'Connor has a mild leg injury that could derail a good chunk of the season, possibly, or at least his production this year. So Keith Cooper Jr. making some splash plays, making himself known at training camp. Look, this would be a good game for him to come out and just, hello, NFL. You should have drafted me. You know what I'm saying? Why are sacks important? The percentage of the time team scored a touchdown or field goal on the drive when taking a sack on the drive during the regular season. Last year was 26.2%. Ooh, I got to make sure. All right. Taking the field goal out of the equation, the percentage of the time teams scored a touchdown when taking a sack on the drive was just 8.2%. I want to look up real quick. Let's go to YouTube. Let's go to... If we got time, I just want to pull it up if we got time. Okay, how do you spell Brent Coleman? H. I don't know how to spell it. There it is. Oh, there's no H. I'm stupid. Brett, not Brent. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and watch this if we got time. It's a little 11-minute video that he popped out. Actually, dude, you guys seriously should check this guy's channel out. He does some great. This Bob Sanders video was fucking nuts, dude. But we're gonna watch this video in a little bit about how important sacks are. Special teams. There are a lot of things working in preseason when it comes to special teams, with 90 players on the roster. Special teams coordinator Dave Blue Angel Phipp and assistant special teams coordinator Jet Modkins have a lot on their plate trying to find out who they can rely on and who can make this roster based on their play on special teams. In the loss of the Chargers last week, Detroit fumbled a kickoff, muffed a punt, had a legal kickoff penalty, and an illegal touching penalty. Phipp and Modkins are looking for a much cleaner play from special teams overall tonight. That's one thing I do want us to clean up, is the sloppy special teams play that we had. It started off bad and just went downhill from there. Generating takeaways. The last thing that we need to be paying attention for is how well can we take the ball away? Are we going to start stepping up with our reserve players? There is a standard set by Calvin Shepard to prioritize football, and Shepard was probably a little disappointed watching the tape of the Chargers game that his defense wasn't able to generate any turnovers. 0. Goose egg. Campbell said in his opening remarks following the loss last week that the difference in the game was Detroit turning the football over 5 times and generating 0 takeaways on defense or special teams. Every practice in camp, the defense coaches and players are prioritizing the football. Get the ball. We hear every day at practice. Let's see if it translates to tonight's game. Let's hope we get some nice takeaways. I am obviously that is the headliner. That's the number one thing that I'm watching is Hendon Hooker. I want to see Hendon Hooker finally become who we need and want him to be. You know what I'm saying? Down in the chat, Hutch and Williams next to each other may have been causing havoc. Lions had to implement the Hutch rule for practice because he's blowing up every play. Loved hearing that. Yeah, we talked about the Hutch rule. I think we talked about it yesterday or the night before. But yeah, dude, so Hutch has been going bananas, and that's just going to make everyone else so much better. Hutch rule equals offense play. Yep, that's right. So the Hutch rule, guys, in case you didn't know, is Aiden Hutchinson has been so unbelievably dominant in practice that when he's blows up a play, the offense is getting such few reps because he's blowing up plays so much that they just allow the play to continue. They don't blow the play dead after Hutch gets there, and they just effectively make the defense play 10 on 11. They're like, all right, yeah, Hutch got a sack. He's out of the play now. Let the play keep playing, because if not, we're not going to get the reps in that we need. But yeah, hell yeah, Hendon Hooker. All right, we got 6 votes. What are you watching closely tonight? Hooker v. Allen, 17% of the vote. 0% of you want to see the Hammers' development. 33% of you are looking at the trenches depth. That's offensive and defensive line. That's a very important group for us to watch. And 50% of you, wow, 50% of you are saying you are mostly watching the Manhattan Maidens, the Manhattan Mid-Maiden. I'm trying to think of a proper way to say it, how to like phrase that out properly. We want to see AOC's horse-faced tatas with 50% of the vote. All right, guys. Ennis Rakestraw injury news. Lions cornerback, former second-round pick to miss entire season after shoulder injury or surgery. The Lions defense was asked to overcome an incredible amount of injuries during 2024, and unfortunately, adversity has struck early in 25. Has it, though? I mean, was he really that important so far? On Thursday, the team announced it placed former second-round pick Ennis the Penis Rakestraw on injured reserve after he underwent shoulder surgery and sand removal from his vagina. This transaction means he'll miss the entire 25 season. Rakestraw posted on TikTok with the captions, "Words can't describe the way I feel. I'll be back soon. Been a rough 2 years. But I'll never question God. Just want to play the game I love dearly and show my people who I am and the kids who grew up like me. It's possible. So I'll win in the end and just be Jesus Christ. So I'll win in the end. Just been a blurry road that I've been on. I know it's clear road ahead. I just have to keep pushing." This is a tough blow for Rakestraw, who had the majority of his rookie season stolen from him due to injuries. According to the Detroit Free Press, he missed time last season while recovering from a hernia surgery, injured ankle in training camp, and then a hamstring issue landed him on injured reserve. In 8 total games, Rakestraw recorded 6 combined tackles. The number 61 overall pick out of Missouri in 2024 was praised for his toughness at defensive back in both coverage and run support. Over 4 collegiate seasons, Rakestraw recorded 107 tackles, 24 passes, defended 3 forced fumbles, and 1 interception. Those 24 passes defended were tied for third most in the SEC since 2020, and he allowed 0 touchdowns in 1,017 career coverage snaps. That's pretty impressive in the SEC. With Rakestraw now on the shelf, more will be asked specifically of free agent signee, our guy, Rock Ya-Sin, the former second-round pick who spent last season with the San Francisco 49ers and impressed in last week's Hall of Fame game with 2 monster tackles. Will Rakestraw be missed? Is this an important? Is this a omen? Is the Rakestraw injury an omen for what we can expect to come? Are we going to have another injury-riddled season? Or is Rakestraw just getting it all out now? Just getting it all out for us now between him and Levi, just getting the injuries out of the way now so that everyone else stays healthy. If we got to sacrifice an Ennis Rakestraw to the altar of the injury, gods to appease them and it protects Aiden Hutchinson's leg, then yes. Yes, 100 times yes. I don't think he's really going to be missed. I would have liked to see a big step from Rakestraw. I liked the idea of us having these 2 dynamic, like good young corners, but Rakestraw just seems to kind of be going the Josh Paschal route. For every Aiden Hutchinson, there is a Josh Paschal. For every fucking Terry and Arnold, there's going to be an Ennis Rakestraw. What's up, Kerry? Morning, Mr. Kerry Simtich. How you doing, brother? Cheesehead saying that the Hutch will never be the same. Are in for a big surprise week 1. I agree with you, Brent, dude. If they're really believing that, they are in for a rude awakening. Hope Rakestraw's back next year and stays healthy. Remember Stafford's first year. Good point. Good point, Brent DeWitt. Let's not forget that Matt Stafford was labeled as a China doll his first 2 years. He couldn't stay healthy. He was on the bust out of the league injury track, and not for nothing, but statistically, he turned it around to have one of the more illustrious careers in the NFL. Do I think Matt Stafford gets into the Hall of Fame? No, I do not think Matt Stafford will have done enough in the modern age of passing to get himself to the Hall of Fame, even with a ring. The closest thing Matt Stafford has to getting him in the Hall of Fame is that he was the guy who passed the majority of the stats to Calvin Johnson. Other than that, I don't think Matt Stafford. I think you can tell the story of the NFL without Matt Stafford. Now, I have gone on record, and I still do believe that Matt Stafford, because of the theory of you can't tell the story of the NFL without X player is why they are justified in the Hall of Fame. When the Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl this year with Jared Goff at quarterback and shut out the Buffalo Bills 59-0, when the Lions win the Super Bowl, that will get Jared Goff automatically in the Hall of Fame, right? When Jared Goff wins a Super Bowl with the Detroit Lions, he will become a first ballot Hall of Famer. That will elevate Matt Stafford's ability to get into the Hall of Fame because of him having the career ties to Calvin Johnson, as well as you can't tell the story of the NFL without the Super Bowl winning team and the trade that allowed the foundation to be set for this historic franchise rebuild. Does that make sense? Brent DeWitt, Stafford. I think Stafford needs to win 2 more rings and has to do it back-to-back. Or Stafford goes full mercenary mode and wins 2 more Super Bowls with 2 different teams. Then he gets in the Hall of Fame. Matt Stafford goes full mercenary mode, wins a ring with 2 different teams. Then he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion with 3 different teams. His stats should by that point be pretty fucking insane. And at that point, I don't think you can tell the story of the NFL without Matt Stafford. But I feel, though, that when the Lions win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff as the quarterback, then that also elevates Matt Stafford's chances of getting into the Hall of Fame, because you can't tell the story of the NFL, this historic rebuild, without the trade that facilitated it all. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about Ennis Rakestraw some more. Ennis Rakestraw wants nasty DMs to stop. Is, quote, truly sorry. Ennis Rakestraw is likely experiencing a wide range of emotions after suffering a season-ending shoulder injury. The second-round pick has experienced a difficult time battling injuries through his first 2 seasons. His rookie season derailed. That's right, we read that. The 5'11" defensive back only played 8 games. He ended his inaugural season in Motown on the injured reserve, and he's ending his sophomore season there too. In college, the talented defensive back also battled injuries, causing many to wonder if he would be able to develop into a contributing player. GM Brad Holmes has faced a significant amount of scrutiny due to signing and drafting players with challenges staying healthy. Most notably, cornerback Emmanuel Mosley was brought back to the Lions even after suffering another serious injury his first season in Detroit. Another second-round pick, Levi Onwuzurike, also has not been able to consistently contribute due to injury. His 2025 season has been derailed due to an ACL injury that required surgery. Rakestraw posted an emotional video on social media. God has all the answers. I'll never question him, but truly sorry. Unfortunately, he also needed to add a separate post. And this is kind of fucked up that he had to say this. Quit DMing me saying I'm about to get cut. With the ease of each individual can reach players, it's unfortunate the insensitive nature of some people. Injured players often struggle with intrusive thoughts, feeling that they have let their teammates down. Linebacker Derek Barnes, who's also in a contract year, so there was added stressors that teams may view his long-term future differently. The first couple of weeks, it's hard, Barnes said. I thought about it a lot, but I look toward my faith, and I know everything will work out in my favor. But now it's basically more of just trying to get back to 100% and trying to get back to my normal self. And obviously, when it was an important season, but every season is important to me, whether it was my contract or my first year, third year. But no, it's mentally been good, so I'm just, however that takes me, wherever it takes me, I'll get to the battle when I get to it. That's kind of fucked up. I get where people are at. Caleb will be turned and twisted into a cheese pretzel 100%, dude. We're going to eat, Carrie, we're going to eat Caleb Williams. We're going to make him cry. They're going to make him cry so hard, dude. But this is fucked up, you guys. Don't fucking DM people. Don't DM players that are hurt talking shit, man, all right? Like, just put the fries in the bag, bro, all right? It's a certain type of person that does that, and, you know, put the fucking fries in the bag and leave him alone. Let him develop. He could become that guy. Injuries derail guys, just like fucking Brent said, dude. Brent nailed it. Stafford was the same way his first couple years in the league. You know what I'm saying? A couple more things here, guys, before we wrap the show. Detroit Lions updated depth chart preseason game at Falcons. What are we looking at here? All right. Oh, wow. Okay, so we got number 52 is assigned to two players, both Zach Cunningham and Neti Muti. And then 42 is also assigned to Jabari Small and DJ Miller. Quarterback, this is the depth chart. Jared Goff and Hendon Hooker, Kyle Allen. So Hooker and Allen will probably split the game. He's working, he grinds it. We already read that. Running backs, Gibbs and Montgomery. You don't expect to see them. Craig Reynolds should get the majority of the carries. Sione Vaki, Jabari Smalls, and Jacob Sailors bringing up the end. I'd love to see some good development. I want to see some play out of Jacob Sailors. We know what we're getting out of Craig Reynolds. Okay, Craig is Craig. Craig is Craig. I don't expect Craig to be here much longer, but Craig Reynolds is Craig Reynolds. Sione Vaki has been injured, right? And it's a hamstring, which sucks, but he did return to practice this week. Do we give Sione Vaki a little bit more run? I'm not opposed to it. I like to see Sione Vaki out on the field. I'd like to see some development, see what we got out of him now in his second year. Jabari Small, not too high on Jabari Small. Probably not going to make the roster. These guys here, these three guys are really going to be slogging it out. I do like Jacob Sailors, though. UFL, offensive all-pro, or offensive player of the year, I can't remember. But Jacob Sailors, I think, could be a sneaky addition to the team. Kyle Robichaux is out, reverted to injury reserve on Tuesday. Wide receivers, we got 11 guys. Obviously, we're going to be looks like we're going to be sitting. What does the bold mean? Projected starters who are not expected to play are bolded. That's kind of what I thought. So, top four, Amon-Ra, J-Mo, Tim Patrick, who left practice Wednesday early for an undisclosed reason. Khalif Raymond. Don't expect to see those guys, so expect to see a heavy dose of Isaac Tesla. Tom Kennedy, TK85. Dominic Lovett injured abdominal and expected to have missed at least this game, so don't expect to see Dominic Lovett out there. Jackson Meeks will get an opportunity. Jacoby Kene James needs to really undo some fuck-ups that he had last game, specifically in the punt return. Ronnie Bell should get some run time. Maybe we see a little bit of development out of Ronnie Bell, and then Malik Taylor bringing up the bottom end of the depth chart. Tight ends, we know the top two guys, so we'll see a big battle between I wouldn't expect to see Steven Stallianos, but Zach Horton, probably going to be our fullback. I don't think he is too much in consideration for the Tight end 3 spot, he has been kind of our H-back, really playing at fullback a lot. But I would rather see Kenny Yeboah as it sits right now ahead of Shane Zylstra on the depth chart. Yeboah is a better run blocker, so a nice little battle here we could quietly watch develop. Brent DeWitt says, curious to see Sailors tonight. Small seem to lack burst, but all running backs look like that compared to Gibbs. Yeah, that's true, dude. When we're used to watching Gibbs just see a lane and go. He goes right now. He goes right now. He's gone. Everyone looks a little bit like they got their feet in mud, a little bit of cement shoes on, you know what I'm saying? But I think Sailors is going to end up separating himself away from Jabari Small. I think Small, like you say, doesn't really have that burst, that actual burst. Obviously, there's our projected starters at offensive line, but could potentially play in this game is our boy Tater Ratledge. Dan Skipper is expected to miss this game. Our super troll tight end tackle, he's got an ankle injury. So our starting offensive line should project to be Giovanni Manu at the left tackle. What do we got out of you, Mr. Manu? Left guard Nateni Muti or Kyoto Awashika. Kingsley Akugan should start at center. Awashika or Ratledge will probably get the nod at right guard. And then Mason Miller, due to the fact that Jamarco Jones is injured and unlikely to play at the right tackle spot. Expect to see some Tristan Colin, Michael Neese, and Justin Heron, who was signed this past week, as well as the living ham, Colby Sorsdahl. Miles Frazier still on the PUP list, expected to be returning in September. Defensive end, we know the guys, Muhammad, Hassanein, Lin, Aguge, and Ukuwu. We are watching these three guys heavily. Nate Lynn has made some splash plays, but these two guys in particular who we are zeroing in on. Josh Pascal, also injured, expected to return in September. Defensive tackles, could potentially play Tyleek the Freak Williams. DJ Reader, definitely not going to play. Roy Lopez, probably going to have to just play due to depth reasons. Pat O'Connor is expected to miss this game with leg injury. Chris Smith, Keith Cooper, that's who we're looking at, our guy, number 64, Keith Cooper. Miles Adams has played pretty well. Broderick Martin missed 2 practices this week for undisclosed reasons, probably because he's a bum. Probably because Broderick Martin is a fucking bum. Then you see the injured defensive tackles. Hopefully we get Aleem back in October, and Makai Wingo should be able to roll in September for whatever worth that is. Going to watch Zach Cunningham and Grant Stewart hold down the Mike and Will spots. Trevor Nowitzki, we know what we got out of him. Anthony Pittman, our special teams phenom. Can he outplay Ezekiel Turner and Ron Gilbert? Is there any separations here? Or is this pretty much locked in? Our 5? Will we roll with 5 or do we roll with 6 linebackers? If we roll with 5, it's definitely these 5 guys right here. These 5 guys right here. If it's 6, Trevor Nowitzki makes the roster. I think Anthony Pittman's going to be the odd man out. Rodriguez, expected to return on October. There you go. Our defensive backs. Terrion Arnold, hamstring, will not play this game. DJ Reed shouldn't play, nor should Amik Robertson, so we're going to see a lot of Rocky Sin and Eric Hallett. DiCaprio Boodle, does he turn it around? He got kind of taken advantage of a few times last week, once for a touchdown, but there are times where he does pop on camera. Can he really zero it in? And I'm not too worried about down roster after it gets to Boodle. Everyone else is, I mean, not to be a dick, but I don't expect you guys to even make the practice squad. There are too many bodies, but we need depth here to finish out the preseason. Khalil Dorsey should return late to camp, and Rakestraw is done for the year. It's the depth that we're starting to see kind of shake its way out. At safety, does Avante Maddock and Morris Norris really lock it in? Can Lawrence Strickland beat out Ian Kennelly? I love the idea of Kennelly. I liked the hits Kennelly was slamming down. Dan Jackson, obviously, on injured reserve, but I was liking the hits Kennelly was slamming down. Can Kennelly make his way? First cuts haven't even happened. Not yet, but they're getting there. They're getting there, Kerry. They're getting around to picks. Everyone seems to be putting Patrick out to pasture already. I don't think so just yet. I don't think Fireball Tim Patrick's going to be put out to pasture. I think he sticks around. I think there's a comfort level between Jared Goff and Fireball Tim Patrick. And we know the specialists. We're not going to get into our special teams, kickers, punters, and long snapper. We know the guys. So there's our initial depth chart for tonight, or at least the projected depth chart for tonight. Now, I know what you're asking. Hey, Hattenbeard, how can I watch the game? Where is it going to be? Well, it is going to be tonight, August 8th. Kickoff should be scheduled for 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be played in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. And how can I watch the Lions versus Falcons live? Unlike last week, the game is not nationally televised. It is available locally on Fox 2 Detroit or any of their other local affiliates, which you can view here. Go ahead. I did supply all the links down below in the description. Is it being replayed nationally? Yes, you can watch or record a replay of the game on NFL Network at 2 a.m. Friday night. Oh, shit. Ha! I know what I'm doing tonight. If I don't get a chance to watch the game at work, I'm coming home and I'm staying up. Staying up, going to watch me the replay. And yes, you can stream the game on the NFL app. So that's where you can watch the game and see what's going on. Now, listen to Mike Kimber's live if you can't watch it. Yeah, dude, that's the other thing you guys can do is check out Mike Kimber. He does play-by-play. So, Mr. Detroit City, does he go by, is the channel Mike Kimber now? Because I always knew him as Micro Mike. Is he now Mike Kimber? He's growing like a motherfucker. That dude blew up, dude. Like, good for him. Does Detroit Lions Syndicate still fucking crank out content? Last I seen, that dude is at like 20,000 subscribers, dude. He was going bananas. So, fellas, we talked about some things to watch down here. Where did it get me into? The pass rush. And they talked about some stats here. Why are sacks important? The percentage of the time teams scored a touchdown or field goal on a drive when taking a sack on the drive during the regular season was just 26%. So 26% of the time, if you were able to get a sack on a drive on defense, 26% of the time the offense was going to score, which means 75% of the time that would have fizzled out a drive in some capacity. Taking a field goal out of the equation, the percentage of the time the team scored a touchdown when taking a sack on a drive was just 8.2%. So sacks are very, very important. He's been with Chat Sports a long time. Yeah, dude. Yeah, he has been with Chat Sports for a long time. He's just kind of been kind of an OG Lions content creator. You know what I'm saying? Haven't confirmed yet, but someone said there was a link to watch the Detroit Lions website. Oh, no shit. Still Micro Mike, just adjusted the handles. Gotcha. Appreciate you clearing that up, Mr. Detroit City. All right, guys, so we're going to take a look. We got a few minutes here. We're going to run a few minutes late. I'm going to go ahead and watch. Brett Coleman has this video that is beautiful. He gets down in the nitty-gritty of it where he talks about how not all sacks are created equal. So let's go ahead and check this out.
Everyone always talks about third down being the money down in the NFL, but what if I told you that wasn't entirely true? And beyond that, what if I told you that good third down teams in the NFL, particularly on defense, are actually just really good first and second down teams in disguise that make their third downs easier in the first place?
Yep.
I'm sure this does not come as a surprise to you at all.
If you get the team off their schedule, if you get them off their plan on first and second down, if you get a sack on first or second down, the whole drive, the mentality, the plan is all shifted immediately.
But generally speaking, the rate at which defense...
Hey, Sam, you have a good time, brother. You enjoy it, dude. You and the kids have a good time, yo. Sam Armstrong's partying down at Busch Gardens. He's in line for the cheetah at Busch Gardens with the kids and friends. Have a great day, brother. Party it up. Stay safe. Enjoy yourself, dude. Thanks for hanging out, bro. Really appreciate you popping in, hanging out, dude. Thank you so much, Sam. Have a great weekend, guy. We'll see you Monday morning, dude.
Get stops on third down directly correlates to the amount of yards to go on those third downs. If you break out the average third down conversion rates allowed on defense across the league and separate them by distance, you end up with a very clear and also pretty predictable trend.
Yep.
Per the data that I pulled from Pro Football Focus, on third and short, meaning third and one.
Pay attention to these numbers, guys.
1 or 2 yards to go, the average conversion rate is 62.8%. Which makes a lot of sense because most short yardage runs are probably going to move the chains. But then that conversion rate drops to 4.
Hey, why Piepo? Piepo. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Good morning. Welcome to the chat, dude. We're bearing the lead. This is a Tesla versus Tim Patrick preseason. You might be onto something, my guy. You might be onto something. This has been a quiet little battle that's been going on throughout camp. Are we not? We here at the Hat and Beard Show are incredibly high on Isaac Tesla. I'm also a massive Fireball Tim Patrick fan. I think you might be onto something, dude. I really do. Tim Patrick has been trending downwards. Jared Goff has been showing a lot of consistency with Khalif Raymond, at least in camp, but we know that Raymond's touches are going to be limited due to his needing his availability on special teams. Does Isaac Tesla Does he usurp Fireball Tim Patrick in the first half of the season, or does he wait until we get into double-digit weeks and then Isaac Tesla finally takes his rightful place as the third wide receiver amongst the Detroit Lions?
46.8% when you get to third and medium.
But yeah, Peppo, I do think you are right, my man. That is a story that does need to be. We need to keep a magnifying eye or a magnifying glass on that, dude. We got to keep our watchful eye on that. That's something we do need to keep watching over the next few weeks, especially as we get closer to the regular season. What is the role of Tim Patrick versus our guy, Isaac Tesla?
Medium, meaning third and 3 to 6 yards to go. Then you get into third and long, which is third and 7 to 10. It drops again to 34.42%. And then once you get to third and very long, i.e. third and 11 plus, it craters even more to just a 16.3% average conversion rate allowed.
Second down sacks are cripplers, dude. Second down sacks are cripplers.
So just looking at that surface level data, it's not really a surprise that 4 of the best defenses in the NFL,
Look at that, the Detroit Lions, baby. Let's go.
Detroit, when they were healthy at least, Houston, Denver, and Minnesota were all literally the top 4 defenses in the NFL in terms of average third down distance to go. All of them were at least 7.7 yards, with Denver being the best at 7.9 yards. Meanwhile, the absolute worst defense in the league, Carolina, and they were bottom of the NFL in like almost every conceivable metric, they also just so happen to be the bottom of the NFL in terms of average third down distance to go at 6.2 yards, which doesn't sound like a huge drop off between 6.2 and 7.7, but that's basically a yard and a half. And that's a really big deal when we're talking about giving a defense more cushion to work with in what is literally a game of inches. So
It's the 6 inches in front of your face.
I guess the real question now is this. If getting off the field consistently on third down is all about having the longest possible average distance to go on third down, how do you do that as a defense? Like, what is the secret sauce to generating more third and longs and third and forever situations?
You stop the run, and you get sacks on second down. What's up, you Peppo? What up, dude? He says, pause.
Is what today's show is all about. But before we get to the meat of it, I want to thank today's sponsor for helping to make. By the way, they ship fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your doorstep.
Keep clicking the wrong goddamn buttons, guys. So real quick, do y'all? So I got YouTube Premium. Do y'all get that jump forward button when they do ad reads like this, where you can just click and it jumps right ahead? Y'all got that too? Or is that just a YouTube Premium thing? It's so convenient. It's so convenient to just skip through the ad reads. Oh, man, is it convenient.
With that, let's get back to it. As we established earlier in the show, not every third down is created equal. But what if I told you that not every sack is created equal either? Let's go back to that handy chart from earlier and add in third down sack percentages on top of third down conversion rates allowed, because that's where things get really interesting. Predictably, sack percentages are rather low at just 7.1% in third and short situations, which is mostly because there's less pass plays in third and short to begin with. But then it jumps up pretty significantly to 9.4% when you get to third and medium.
Because you can pin your ears back more.
There's more pass plays in third and medium situations. The average sack percentage jumps up again to 9.9% in third and long, but interestingly, it kind of levels out in third and very long. There's only a...
But look at the conversion rate drop-offs. Just, we're talking almost at least 15-point drops every single time.
0.1% difference between third and 7 to 10 and third and 11 plus, at least in terms of sack rates. But again, you juxtapose that with the steep decline in conversion rate from third and 7 to 10 to third and 11 plus, and you can see how there's not really a big correlation between the established drop-off in conversion percentage to any sort of spike in sack percentage. And the disconnect between those two metrics that feel like they should be more correlated but actually aren't is because not every third down stop is a sack. In fact, the vast majority of them aren't.
Thank you, Peppo. I'm just reacting to his content. Go and subscribe to Brett Coleman, Kollman. This dude's content is legit. He gets into it. He does some great breakdowns of all kinds of NFL content. I strongly recommend this guy, dude. He's really, really good at what he does.
If you look at every single third down stop from across the entire league last season, only 14% of them actually came from sacks. Everything else came from just every other way that you can get off the field on third down, whether it's a PBU, an interception, a check down that gets tackled short, a scramble that gets tackled short, a give up draw
Goddamn
that gets
neighbors
tackled
up
short.
mowing
There's a
lawn.
million ways to get off the field.
Fucking dickhead. Doesn't he know I'm trying to broadcast live to you guys Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. YouTube.com/The Hat and Beard Show. Subscribe, like, comment, share down below.
Field on third down. So really, the goal of a good third down defense is not just to get a sack. It's nice, but it's not really mandatory. The goal of a good defense is to get into second and long first, so you
Boom.
can try to get into third and forever.
That's what I said. You fuck them up on first down. You get them off script on first down, man. If you disrupt the script, they're dog fucked. They're not. A lot of teams, very successful teams, are good at in-game adjustments. A lot of teams are not good at in-game adjustments. So if you can disrupt, look at how piss poor things went for Detroit. Hall of Fame preseason week 1. The opening kickoff got the entire game off script, and it was just a dumpster fire spiraling down the toilet on its way to a shit pile the whole fucking game.
And from there, the sacks are just naturally going to come with that uptick in longer yardage situations. But again, it's not really the goal. It's more of a byproduct. Once defenses get into third and 11 plus, they tend to just sit back and play zone coverage. They aren't going to give you anything deep. They're just going to encourage a
I agree with you, Brent. Run defense and run offense are the two most important parts of having a successful organization. If you can't run the ball and if you can't stop the ball, you are not a successful team.
check down, then rally, tackle, and get off the field. That's the whole game. In fact, if you look at specifically the third down conversion rates on a completed pass, meaning how often does a completion result in a new first down, if you break it out by distance, again, completions on third and 7 to 10 are going to result in a conversion about 62.4% of the time. But a completed pass on third and 11 plus only results in a conversion 26.4% of the time. That is nearly a 40% drop. So not all completed passes are created equal either. And that is why ultimately the average third down conversion rate allowed after a second down sack is only 19.5%.
19.5%.
That is obviously really, really low.
Yeah,
and
boy.
The reason why it's low is because the vast majority of sacks on second down, nearly 75% of them actually, are going to put offenses into third and 11 plus situations, which, as we established, already have a really low average conversion rate.
Yep.
If you want to get off the field, the most consistent and reliable way to do that is to take a second and manageable and then turn it
Boom,
into
Trey
a
Hendrickson.
third and forever. And that is backed up by data. If you take the last 4 seasons combined as a sample size and you look at the average lost expected points per play on a sack, broken out by down and distance, you can see how some second down sacks are actually worth more in lost EPA than some third down sacks. And for the sake of
God
you being able
damn.
to easily reference this at a glance,
Yep.
I'm going to throw up the rankings here as well, from highest
Look at
value
that.
to lowest value for a sack based on when and where it occurs. The highest values for sacks, at least from a defensive perspective, are going to be on third and short and second and short, respectively.
Yep.
Because that takes an
Puts it
offense
into
that
the
is
third
on
and
schedule
11
and
or-
forces it
yeah.
back into being off schedule by taking a loss. But you can
Okay, off schedule. I've been saying script, but schedule is a proper term.
also see that a sack on second and medium is more valuable than a sack on third and long.
Yep.
And sacks on both second and long and second and very long are also more valuable than a sack on third and 11 plus. And the reason for that is that a second down sack echoes into the next play.
Yep.
There's kind of a
Fourth down,
finality
you're
to
off
a
the
third
field.
down sack.
Second
that
down,
is
you're still on the
valuable in a
field.
vacuum. The drive is just over right then and there. But
what I
if
see.
you remember, only 14% of third down stops end that way. The goal is to get a third down stop, not a third down sack. And getting a third down stop is a hell of a lot easier after a second down sack. And as a side note, by the way, if you're wondering who's led the entire NFL in second down sacks over the last 3 seasons, it's Trey Hendrickson at 15. Look, I'm not going to jump into the whole Bengals mess today because that's probably its own episode, so I'll just leave it at this. Good defenses win on third down, but great defenses win on first and second down so that they can win on third down. If you have a player on your
Hell yeah, Kerry. He says even edge rushes are expected to stop the run. Stopping the run is the number one priority. Everything else is secondary. On defense, the number one priority, you need to stop the run. If you can't stop the run, you can't build or stop anything. So yeah, If you want to be a good edge rusher, you have to be able to at least stop the run before you can even think about being a pass rush specialist. Just checked. Live watch will be available at kickoff on the Lions website. Fuck yeah, Brent DeWitt. That's what's up. Appreciate you doing the research, brother. Hell yeah, Brent.
Roster that makes impact plays on early downs as much as he does on late downs, that is a force multiplier that you can't really replace, and it's worth whatever money they want. That's why Pittsburgh just paid TJ Watt in the first place. Like, yeah, he's 31, and like, would I have guaranteed that much money for a 31-year-old? Probably not. But like, at the same time, they have the cap space, and it's TJ Watt. Like, what are you going to do? Not pay him? You're going to trade a guy whose jersey's going to be in the rafters for a day 2 pick? Like, fuck no. Like, they have the money. They don't care. It's TJ Watt. It makes sense. But for the Bengals specifically, I said I wasn't going to do a Bengals rant, but I'll do a little mini rant. For the Bengals specifically, if you're trying to convince your fan base that you're going on a Super Bowl run here and you're paying your core of talent and you're keeping the band together because we're going to go on a real run in the AFC and we're going to show the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens that we're still here to compete, why would you stop short of that, right? Like, you have literally one of the most valuable defensive players in the NFL, and every other top pass rusher that's also in his age bracket, whether it's Danielle Hunter or TJ Watt.
I don't care about Trey Hendrickson. He's just going to carry on about Trey Hendrickson. So that's going to be it for today, guys. You guys ready for the game tonight? Are you hyped for the game tonight? I'm so fucking hyped for the game tonight. Today we talked about Anthony Richardson. Hurt his finger. He's day-to-day. Talked about 5 things the Lions could watch, or you could watch during the Lions game. Some position battles, some things to keep an eye on. And most importantly, let's see how Hendon Hooker looks. Ennis Rakestraw was announced yesterday, done for the year. Going to miss entire season after second-round pick had sand removal surgery from his vagina, and then they also gave him shoulder surgery on top of that. He is getting some backlash on social media. You know, tweeting at a guy is one thing, but hey, quit being a dick face and DMing him. You fuck. You're a fuck. If you do that, you're a fuck. All right, for real. If you DM Ennis Rakestraw, look, don't DM. Let me talk all the shit. Stop DMing him. You're a fuck if you do that. We looked at the depth chart for tonight's game. There's some position battles we're kind of hyped about. Some injuries, though, that we're not very excited about. Does Tater get some play today? I'd like to see Tater get some run today. Talked how you can watch the game, when and where it's going to be. And then finally, we watched this video from our guy, Brent Coleman. Not all sacks are equal, and he talked about how impactful first and second down sacks are. Tied into a little bit of a story. We said 5 things to watch for the Lions, and can we generate a pass rush? Can we get some takeaways? We're going to see if the offense can execute and the defense can take another step forward, at least for the reserves. Guys, it's been a great week. Appreciate you hanging with me through the slog. Wednesday was a little goofy. And to be honest, I've been off schedule ever since that first down sack I took on Wednesday. Second down was pretty rough Thursday. Third down today's been okay, but I think we're going to have to go ahead and get off the field. Going to have to punt this away or settle for a field goal. I don't think we're going to quite get in the end zone for this week. Not quite a touchdown week, but it was a successful show. Everybody really stepped up. Appreciate you, Chase, with the technical difficulties the other day, man. I was spiraling. I was getting kind of pissed off. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. All the growth we've had. Shout out to the new guys in the chat. Broski Bear. Yapeppo. Hopefully we see you Monday morning. Along with everybody else, we will be back at it Monday morning, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here at YouTube.com. We are the largest, fastest growing NFL and Detroit Lions content creation station, broadcasting exclusively from Grandma's Studio One. It's the Hat and Beard Show. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. That's what we love about you. Stay out of trouble this weekend, guys. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Don't call for bail. It's not pay week. We'll see you Monday morning at 10 a.m. Until then, I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Bonga bonga. Frig off.